Welcome back. Today, we're going to talk about numbers. Now, this was from your vocabulary many lessons ago. You should at least know the first 10 numbers. Now, I did go ahead and put the kanji instead of the hiragana because they are some of the first kanji that you're going to learn anyway, and they're all pretty easy. They don't take that long to master, so you should kind of familiarize yourself with them as early as you can. So the way that we make numbers greater than 10 in Japanese is we add whatever number we need with 10. Okay, so here we have roku, which means 6, and ju, which means 10. The roku is before the ju, so we have 60. Rokuju means 60. If we flip that and we put the roku on the other side, ju is first, roku is second. This is 16. Okay, it works kind of like Roman numerals. It takes a little bit of practice to get used to at first, but counting to 99 in Japanese is very easy because of this. Now, counting in the hundreds and the thousands is a little bit more difficult just because there are some pronunciation rules. So we're going to take a moment and look at those really quick. Over in the hundreds, right, 100 is hyaku. Hyaku, this is the symbol for 100. The number 3 changes the pronunciation, and it's not hyaku, but byaku. Sanbyaku would be 300. San, byaku, 300. Then this one is here only because you cannot use shi, right? The number 4 has 2 pronunciations. Remember, yon and also shi. But when you use it for hundreds or also thousands, you cannot use shi. You must use yon. You can never say shi hyaku. That is mainly as a pronunciation guide because it's really difficult to say shi hyaku. That e to the hya is not easy to do. So you can't do it. You can't. It's yon. Yon hyaku. Yon hyaku. 400. 600 actually does 2 things. First, it adds a little tsu. The little tsu replaces the ku in roku. And also it changes hyaku into pyaku. Pyaku. So ro pyaku. Ro pyaku. Remember that the little tsu adds a pause. 700 is just like with yon. You cannot say shichihyaku. That's so hard to even say correctly. Shichihyaku. It's too difficult. That's the reason why. The only reason why you cannot say shichihyaku is because it's hard to say. That's why. Because it's easier to say 700. So if you need help remembering that you cannot say shichihyaku, it is because it is hard to say that. It's very hard to say shichihyaku. I have to like deliberately pause between the 2 words in order to even say it correctly at all. So 700. Then 800 is just like 600. We get rid of the chi, the final character here in hachi. Get rid of that, replace it with a little tsu, and change hyaku to pyaku. So ha, pyaku, ha, pyaku. Then 900 is just like 400 and 700. You cannot say ku, hyaku. You must say kyu, hyaku. Kyu, hyaku. The long version, not the short one. For 1,000, which is sen. This one actually has an extra one because you can say isen. Isen to mean 1,000. You cannot do that with hyaku. You cannot say ihyaku or ichihyaku. If you want to say 100, it's just hyaku. But with 1,000, you can say sen to mean 1,000. Or you could also say isen to mean 1,000. Most of these are pretty much exactly the same, with 3,000 changing the S to have a dakten. Sanzen. Once again, with 4,000, you cannot use shi. It must be yon-sen. This one does not have a rule for 600. I left a space there just so that you could see the one-on-one comparison a little bit better. Then we have nanasen, which is just like 700. And then we have hasen, hasen. This one still has the little su, but it does not change the S. The S is the same, right? So hasen, hasen. And also 9,000 would be kyusen, kyusen. All right, let's practice. Take a look at this number. Pause if you need to. See if you can say this word in Japanese. The good thing about Japanese is that you can go number by number, right? So we have how many hundreds? 2 of them. So, 200, right? 200, 200. How do we say 50? Does the go before or after the ju? Go, ju, 50, right? 250, and then 4. That's it. Easy peasy. 254. 254. How about this one? This is a long one, but it works exactly the same. Just go step by step. But remember, this is a 7. What can we not do with 7? We cannot use shichi. We cannot say shichi-sen. It has to be 7-sen. How do I say 300? San byaku, right? It's a byaku. 7-sen, 300. 81. Right, you just go piece by piece. Counting to 9,999 in Japanese is a piece of cake. This part's easy. We haven't got to the hard part yet, so. All right, now we have some Japanglish shirts. I love Japanglish. I love it when we do this in English also. We love to put Chinese characters on things. But it's not nearly as funny. Like, it can be funny, especially when someone gets like a tattoo that says noodles. That's a very common tattoo, actually. People think that the Chinese character for noodles looks really cool, I guess. So there are many, like, elaborate dragon tattoos with like the kanji for chicken noodle soup, like right in the middle. I don't know. That's a common thing. But in general, when it comes to like t-shirts or bags, whenever they have Japanese or Chinese, they're not usually funny. They just don't make any sense. Especially with Chinese, since each word kind of has its own meaning, you can rearrange them in lots of really creative ways and still get your message across. Most of the time when we do this with these languages, usually we just get some nonsense words and it won't actually be like a coherent sentence. That's why the Japanglish, or some people call it English shirts, are usually a lot funnier because English grammar is a lot more important to making the meaning of the sentence understandable. You know, we can't rearrange things quite the same. Our grammar is very, very complicated. Anyway, I digress. We have weigh the bridges, I burn, ite the way. This lovely shirt can be yours for just 2,500 yen. So how can I say this price? Right? Maybe I'm on the phone with someone like, I want to buy this shirt. Oh, really? How much is it? I need to tell them, how much does this shirt cost? What do you think? Pause if you need to. 2,500. 2,500. How about this one? This one says, warning! I'm a captivity man. Back policeman was chase. Danger! Run away. I love the E in away. This shirt can be yours for the low price of 1,850 yen. How can I say that in Japanese? Take a minute. How do I say 1,000? There's 2 different ways. Do you remember? I could say isen. Isen. I could also just say Sen, right? Sen, ha, pyaku. Remember that 800 is one of the special ones. Ha, pyaku, 50. Okay. Last one, we have hamburger friend. Hamburger with an E, of course. Hamburger friend, I feel happiness when I eat a him. I like this shirt a lot. I would definitely wear this shirt. This one did not have a price on it. I completely made up these numbers, so this is not a real price. However, how can I translate it into Japanese? This time we have 3,795. Remember that both 3,000 and 700 have special spellings. What are they? Sanzen, 795. Now, this is where things are not so easy peasy. In Japanese, sen only goes up to 9,000. You cannot have ju-sen. You cannot. That means, with the method we were just using, you can count up to 9,999. When you get to 10,000, there is a new counter. It is man. Man also has a few special words, but it is only with the 3 that have 2 different variations, right? The 4, the 7, and the 9, right? The ones that have 2 different versions. And once again, it's always yon, nana, and kyu, not shi, shichi, and ku. Now, man means 10,000. So yon man is 40,000. And nana man is 70,000. Right? Kyu man. Oh no. I just now realized I didn't change the spelling here. Hang on. Exit. I fixed it. Anyway, we have yon man, nana man, and kyu man, right? 40,000, 70,000, and 90,000. This really takes some getting used to, right? We are adding a whole new counter. It's frustrating, it's confusing, but imagine how much more difficult it probably is for a Japanese person to learn English counting, because not only are they losing a counter, but they also have to remember all of the words that we have for 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, all of those words. And also we have special names for 20, 30, 40, right? They don't have any of that. They just take their initial 9 numbers and then pair it with whatever counter word they need, right? So imagine how much more difficult it probably is for them. But it does take practice. When in doubt, if someone is giving you like a really large number and you're confused, ask them to write it down. It is way better to say, hey, wait a minute, pull out your phone. Can you type that number for me so I can see it? Right? So that you can avoid confusion, especially when you're like, if you're buying a car or a house or something, you don't want to get the numbers wrong. It's important to get the numbers correct. So if you don't understand, make sure, have them write it down. It is way better to have them write it down, take a second and pull it out, than to ask them to repeat themselves 4 times and then you still not be completely sure if you got the number right. Okay, so when in doubt, just have them write out the number. It's not that big of a deal. They're going to understand the frustration. Counting in other languages, doing math in other languages, doing math in your own language is hard enough on its own. So doing math in another language is a whole nother ballgame, okay? So it's okay to ask for help or ask for clarification if you don't understand. Don't feel bad about that. To kind of help you see it a little bit, we're going to compare the exact same number, right? This number is the same. The same number of 9s is present. But the first one, the blue one, is how we write it in English. And the bottom one is how it is separated in Japanese. Okay, so in English, we separate by threes. And that means if I really wanted to, I could add another 9 here, right? Because we separate into threes. I didn't add a 9 because I want this to be the same number. But I could add another 9 because there's an extra spot here. There's a placeholder here. I cannot do that in Japanese because they use placeholders of 4. Okay, so in English, we would have 99 million, right? This is our million. 999,000, that's our 1,000. 999. In Japanese, it's 9,900, 99 man. Because we have all of these, this whole thing, that's our man. Then we have it again, 9,999. In Japanese, you can go piece by piece, right? 9,999 man. This is your man. Then 9,999. This is the same number. The only difference is we divide it by threes. They divide it by fours. It takes a little practice, but you will get used to it, I promise. Just keep practicing. It'll get better. All right, to finish things up, let's practice some hiragana. Can you read this word? Take a minute, pause the video. What does it say? Hanabi. Hanabi means firework. How about this one? Buta, buta. Pig. This is a pig. Buta. How about this one? Be careful. We have a little tsu here. This is not a big tsu. Notice that it's a little bit smaller than the other ones. So how do I say this one? Ho, pe, ho, pe, ho, pe. Remember, this is a handakten, not a dakten, but a handakten. Ho, pe, means cheek. Fun fact, babies have big chubby cheeks because they need extra muscles to help them suck milk, right? It helps them with the nursing. When they are weaned off of milk and start eating solid foods, that is when their cheeks will start to thin out and look more normal. So those cute chubby cheeks serve a functional purpose. And we are all done. No homework today. You can take a break. The holidays are coming soon. I hope you have your Halloween costumes ready. And I will get back to you with the next lesson as soon as I can. Because Halloween is coming very, very soon, I don't know when the next lesson will be ready, but I promise I am working on it and I will get it up as soon as I can. Thank you for being patient, and I will see you soon. Happy Halloween, guys. Bye.